that 1973 Constitution had already given to the people. On the eve of the unanimous passage of this Constitution, Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto had said, and I quote, "This Constitution now belongs to the people. They are the owners and they will defend it." His words proved prophetic, as despite all their mutual political and ideological differences, the people of Pakistan continued their joint struggle for reviving this agreed document. From the days of movement of restoration of democracy of the 80s to the Alliance of Restoration of Democracy, ARD, of 2000, the political parties, civil society, media, labor, women, minorities, and youth joined hands with one voice, restore 1973 Constitution and purge it from the infringement of dictators. While Shahid Mohtarama Benazir Bhutto, the first woman Prime Minister of the Muslim world, laid her life in Rawalpindi for this ideal, thrice Prime Minister Muhammad Sharif was forced into successive exiles. The joint voices of the people, however, could not be silenced. President Asif Ali Zardari, and indeed the leadership of all truly democratic political parties, were thrown behind bars. And yet we courageously cried, LFO, Na Manzoor, down with dictatorship. The dictator was once again defeated. Destiny smiled. Again, an 18th Amendment was brought to the book in 2010. The Constitution was not only restored to the previous glory, but further improved to fulfill the promise of complete provincial autonomy as envisioned by the Qaid-e-Azam and as promised in 1973. Ladies and gentlemen, April 10, 1973 to 210, and now to the year 2023. We have come a long way, and yet our journey for a truly Islamic, democratic, federal Pakistan is not over. The guarantee of 26 fundamental rights, as promised by the Constitution, still seek the light of the day. The pledge of Article 3, binding the state for the gradual elimination of all forms of exploitation to the universal principle, each according to his ability, to each according to his work, remains largely unfulfilled. The assurance of Article 25, calling no discrimination on the basis of sex, desires to be fully delivered, while the guarantee of 25A, assuring every child compulsory education, awaits our meaningful actions. We have to cover this distance between the promise and our performance. This distance will remain expanding if the democratic leaderships are kept hostage to palace intrigues and midnight assaults. While the narrow populist nationalism drags society to a fascist interpretation of democracy, the institutions are still struggling to imbibe the true spirit of the Constitution as enshrined in its very preamble. Sovereignty belongs to Almighty Allah, and authority to be exercised by the people of Pakistan through their chosen representative. This august house, ladies and gentlemen, is the nucleus of power. It is the author of the Constitution. It is the sole legislative organ. The people's will stems from here, and all institutions must be answerable to this sovereign and supreme body of the people. This is the crux of our Constitution, and this is our only way to an all-inclusive, mutually respecting, diverse, and dialogue-based Pakistan. My Shaheed leader, Benazir Bhutto, used to say, democracy is not a product, it is a continued process. She would often quote Goethe, freedom must be reinvented in every generation. And she would teach us that constitutional democracy is not all about changing a regime through ballot, but creating and strengthening the very building blocks of democracy, namely a vibrant civil society, a free impartial media, a meaningful women's participation, inclusion of diverse voices without the discrimination of class, color, creed, race, and religion, a transparent election system, and an impartial and universally respected judiciary. These are the very building blocks that 1973 Constitution promised. And these are the very building blocks that as representatives of the people, we must strive to create in order to make Pakistan the ideal Islamic federal parliamentary democracy. This is what the Qaid dreamed. This is what the framers of the 73 Constitution aspired for and hence, this should be our legacy to the future generation of our nation. As I conclude, I once again thank you all, especially our foreign delegates, and wish them a joyous stay in Pakistan. I thank you all. Pakistan, Paindabad.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for your enlightening address. Ladies and gentlemen, with the address of the Honorable Speaker, the convention stands open. We shall now have a group photo, which will be followed by tea. After tea, we will break out for the session's discussion. The session on federalism and devolution of power will take place in this very hall after tea, while the session on constitution and representation will take place in committee room number 2 on floor number 1. And the third breakout session on climate justice will take place in committee room number 5, which is situated on this very floor. The ushers, who can be distinguished by their uniform, white shalwar kameez and a green dupatta for girls, and a black waistcoat for all the gentlemen. You can identify them and they would help you taking to the respective committee rooms as you desire so. Now I would request you all to be seated here for the group photo, because the honorable guests on the podium will join you in the hall for the group photo. Please be seated. All of you kindly please be seated. The Saudi delegation has to go. Rest of you please be seated. I hope so. It's going to be a historic photograph within this hall. All of you please be seated. We'll have one photograph while you are seated, and in the other photograph, we'll request you to rise so that we have two photographs. Can you please take your seat? आप ये सेल्फी बाद में ले लीजिए, पहले प्लीज फोटोग्राफ होने दीजिए. Kindly please be seated. We are having the photograph. Can I request you all to please rise in your seats so we have a photograph while you are standing? Can I request all of you to kindly cover this LA? Please move a little so you cover the, and kindly here as well, and from here as well. Slowly, kindly, take a single step. आगे पीछे वाले आगे आने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो वहीं खड़े रहें. मैंने सिर्फ ये दरखास्त की है कि दरमियान में से कवर कर लें. इससे आपकी तस्वीर खराब होगी कि अगर आप जगहों को कवर करेंगे. Should I thank? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are breaking for tea. The tea is served in both lobbies as well as in the lounge. But may I request you that the tea break is only for 15 minutes, and the ushers kindly be gentle bringing them back in the halls. The first plenary, we are going to have the main plenary soon after in this hall.